Now, we all know about Goliad, Texas, but are you familiar with the Goliad Massacre? This was a product of the Texas Revolution in 1836, following the Battle of Refugio and the Battle of Coleto. 400 to 450 prisoners of war from the Texian army were executed in this very spot by the Mexican army. It's safe to say that we could assume where that many people were tragically killed, spirits might linger. So we have our friends from Corpus Christi Spook Central joining us to investigate and find out more. Let's take a look.
This beautiful church has been here since 1724. If you notice the mural behind me, that was built by Antonio Garcia back in 1946. Also, this church was used during the time Fannin and his men were captured. This actually housed the wounded. And off to my right over here is where Fannin had his office, the doctors were, and they actually did surgeries in that area as well. Walk into here, this is actually where the surgeons were set up. That would work on, help to try to mend Fannin's men. They were limited in giving what they could use. They weren't given gauze, they weren't given anything. So whatever they had, that's all that they possibly could use. Sad to say. The doors you see right there, those are actually the original doors that was to the chapel. Over to this side, up here in the front, you'll notice there's another little room off to the side. And this is actually where Fannin, I guess, he was set up in this area to try to communicate and try to talk to the Mexican soldiers. If you notice over here, this is the actual bell that was here at the time. Now, a little bit more history as far as this church goes. Actually, underneath our feet is a mass grave. And as you go down further towards, mostly to the center, there's actually a monk that is buried underneath this floor. Right before the massacre, when Fannin's men were held here, there was more than 400 men, but not only the critical and the injured were kept here in the church. They would line, unfortunately, they would line the walls and beg for food. They begged for water. They did not know at the time what their fate was going to be. One of the big things of the history here is the massacre that occurred on Palm Sunday, March 27th, 1836. That's where Colonel Fannin and his men were massacred. Fannin had he pretty much surrendered, and they were brought here to Presidio La Bahía. They were told that they were going to be released, but they really weren't going to be released because Santa Anna had gave stern orders that all men were to be massacred. There's a lot of history here. I think there was a total of 27 of Fannin's men that actually were able to escape. I think it was like a stopping point to where the Spanish army had taken over the fort, and Fannin's men, the ones that were not injured real bad, were able to camp out on half of the property, and the Spanish soldiers took the other half. The more critical of the men were housed in the chapel, and they weren't given food or water. Matter of fact, they were, crammed in there. There's so many that were crammed in there, and I think there was a total of 3 surgeons that were here, and they weren't allowed to attend to their own men. They had to attend to the Spanish. Fannin and a few of his men were actually massacred here, and their bodies were then dragged way out back, and they were burned. In a way, you want to hear, find out if they're still here, why they're still here. And then the other half, it's like, you hope they're not here. You hope that they've gone on because they've suffered enough.
Because I hear tapping. Did y'all hear that? Is that you tapping on things? Can you tap on it again for us? I know that people don't normally come in here after dark and ask questions and ask if they want to communicate with y'all. Is there anybody here that wants to make their presence known?
Can you tell me your name and if you're the one that Santa Ana had you to do the massacre or ordered the massacre? Is this the piece of cannon that you have destroyed so the Spanish army couldn't get it? What about some of these artifacts that is in these cases? Did any of this belong to you? If so, can you knock on the glass or the plastic and let me know that, that's your stuff that's in there?
Because I hear tapping. Did y'all hear that? Is that you tapping on things? Can you tap on it again for us?
I'm taking readings on this KU2 meter, and it shouldn't be reading anything, especially since we're in open ground. So it picks up electromagnetic field energy, and so when you see it light up, there's energy around the meter itself, and you have to be really close in order to get the meter to go off. And if you can see my phone, I'm touching it and it's barely picking up any meter. So there's no way that it should be picking up anything in this neighborhood since there's no power going anywhere. I've been getting hits on it all night.
We're going to go over to the barracks because in that area, that's where the Mexican army housed their wounded, and hopefully we can get, capture something over there.
This is actually the first time I believe
This is the first time anyone has ever actually investigated in there.
Yeah, after hours.
After hours, yeah. Presidio La Bahía, the Barracks, July 2nd, 2021.
I heard a whisper. It came from your way, honey.
Please give my belongings to my family. Please send them to them.
Dale mis cosas a mi familia. Por favor, dáselos.
Good to go in the barracks?
Let's go.
One time we were out in the quadrangle and we were watching, and up on one of the platforms out there where they had the cannons, you could see shadows, but of course when we got closer, there was no one up there. And late one evening we were out there and just walking around, and you could hear cannon fire. And that's not something I don't think that would be going off in today's world, but it was very interesting.
Was there an increase in activity when we were playing that?
Could barely hear it in here. I mean, I could hear it, but it wasn't very loud.
We can play it in here if you want.
No, I don't think you need to play it inside the barracks. I think if you came like halfway, actually what I think would be a good idea is to go out into the courtyard to where we might be able to see something from the barracks.
Yeah, kind Copy that. Why?
I keep hearing what sounds like two men having a conversation.
Copy that. I'm on my way. I gotta go.
All right.
I've been to Presidio La Bahía, I believe, 4 times. I would say I've never actually had a personal paranormal experience. Every time I've gone to Presidio La Bahía, to me, it's always felt very just kind of welcoming. I will say sometimes though, the quarters where you stay and sleep, sometimes always feels like there's somebody in the room with you. I will say that sometimes the bedroom where I believe it's a queen size bed or full size bed is, that room in general sometimes has the feeling of do not come in here, stay out of here. But eventually you'll just kind of go in there but I've never had anything say don't come back. So when I was in here by myself, there was a bang. Are you the one who made the banging noise? So if you're in here with us, there's no need to be scared. We're not here to harm you. This equipment you see on the table is not here to hurt you.
I've never gotten that before.
What the?
I don't know.
What is it?
Look.
I've
I've never gotten something like that before.
What kind of equipment do you think is the best to use in a place like Presidio La Bahía?
Well, we use the Spirit Portal and the K2 meter, Ghost Box. We actually got a really good hit on the REM pod when we're in the museum area, which no paranormal, as far as I know, no paranormal team has ever been allowed to investigate in there. And the REM pod was actually right there at the door when you would walk in, and it was going off for no reason whatsoever. Basically what a REM pod is detects energy. So as we are human, we produce energy. So when you go up to it, you can tell. When you set it up someplace, as you can see as I'm holding it, it's going off. So you set this up somewhere and actual energy, because the spirit needs energy to try to manifest themselves or do some type of action. And we had this set up in the gift shop area right where people would walk through, and it was going off and none of us were around it. That shouldn't be happening because energy isn't around it. So what is it? Is it a spirit? Is it free floating energy? It's just one of those things. And, you know, going through the audio and going through the video that's in there, hopefully when this went off, we got something to back it up also, because it's a very strange coincidence that this goes off and no one's around it. Another piece of equipment that we were using tonight was the SLS camera, which we got a couple of hits on that. And the DVR system, we set up 4 cameras and actually ran a really long cable. I've never run that long of a cable before to the barracks, and was actually able to get some really good shots inside the barracks. Presidio La Bahía has always been great for audio evidence.
Just let me know that you were here with me.
You know, we've really not captured a lot on video. Maybe the spirits are a little, you know, shy. They don't want to show themselves. But audio has always been something that we've gotten plenty of EVPs and audio from Presidio La Bahía.
It's kind of weird, the acoustics here. You can hear noises on one side and actually it kind of ricochets all over.
It is. You can hear people from a long distance that you think they're right up on you, but in retrospect, they're a good distance away. They're about a mile away, but you can still hear them.
You tried something a little different this time around, using actual cannon fire, gunfire, and
Really was hoping that it would jog something, kind of get the energy flowing out in the area, kind of for them to kind of flash back to what was going on in that moment when they died or they got injured, because that energy just goes out into everything from walls to the ground to the atmosphere, and some people believe that it lingers around. So I was hoping that that would really trigger something, some type of activity.
Cut his leg off.
share cord. Set it down right here.
Please give my belongings to my family. Please send them to them.
Dale mis cosas a mi familia. Por favor, dáselos.
When I was actually out there, I was pretending to be an injured soldier. And as I was laying there crying out, I had stopped for a moment because another investigator was asking questions. And all of a sudden, I felt a cold chill actually come over my arm. And it felt like someone had reached around my ankle, just kind of tugged it, just a smidge.
Apúrenme.
feel like someone's touching my leg.
No me corten la pierna. Acúdenme para ir a pelear por la independencia de Texas.
The only thing bad about the barracks area is it just reverberates so badly. But we did get a couple of EVPs out of there, but it was still an amazing place. Bring everything you think you're going to need. It's one of those locations you don't know what you're going to capture and with what piece of equipment, so bring it all. Set it up and be ready to expect the unexpected. And you had captured this one in the barracks.
My name is Shauna. Can you stop into the little red light and tell me your name?
That's clear. I mean, you hear who.
Now that we've wrapped up our investigation at Presidio La Bahía, can you show me what evidence we captured?
We got some pretty good evidence. Unfortunately, all the hours of video, we've gone through it. There was a couple of things that was real questionable, but you know, it's easily to be debunked, so you know, we threw it out.
Okay.
And but we captured some good EVPs, and you know, also during the night, you know, one of our members was actually getting hits on his K2 meter out in the middle of the quadrangle, which there's really nothing out there to set that off. So it was really interesting.
I would agree. That was interesting. I was out there with this member, and we should never got any hits on it.
No, yeah, definitely. No personal experiences that I can. I mean, did you?
Me neither.
Yeah.
No.
So we'll go ahead and start running through the EVPs. This is actually off your recorder. It's a little bit of a mixture of inside the museum, which I believe we're the first members allowed in there to do a little paranormal investigating inside the museum. This EVP actually says "this way," and it's really well. I'll just play it so you can hear it.
Okay. Yeah, I've never heard these.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty clear.
Yeah.
What I like about it too, though, is the fact that it's after we open the door to walk into the museum.
Yeah.
Like they're almost, wow, we have people actually in here at nighttime. Come this way, let us show you what we have.
Yeah, and this one says sinister. It's very soft. And that was also captured in the museum area. This one, to me, it sounds like it says "not dead."
Can you tell me your name and if you're the one that Santa Ana had you to do the massacre or ordered the massacre?
Yeah, that was actually in the barracks area.
Okay.
This one is a no.
Acerca la luz verde y lo toca.
And you actually heard it, because you make a comment about it.
Did you hear that?
But it's right after you talk. Soft, it's like a... Yeah. Now, of course, we're going to move on to the other EVPs. These are actually off of Shauna's recorder.
So basically, most of these EVPs here are the ones that I caught in the museum when I was asking questions. This one here, I think that we were all in there at one time. We were actually getting hits on the some of the meters and things, and that's all we got. And then all of a sudden, this happens.
I know, if you're still around.
Sounds like a gas.
It's like a gasp or a cough or something happens.
I know, if you're...
I would have gasped.
Yeah, it's like,
Right.
You know.
Like they were either trying to get our attention or they were going to try to say something. Talking to this little red light in my hand. And then this one also, it's almost like somebody is trying to get our attention when we're asking a question, or they're just kind of trying to figure out what we're doing.
Yeah.
In there. Like you said earlier, we were probably one of the first paranormal teams to ever be able to investigate in there. So if there are spirits who are roaming in there and just not knowing what's going on, and they see these people in there after hours, they're probably thinking, whoa, wait a minute, this is different. Let's get their attention and let them know we're still here.
So now on to the very last EVP, and you had captured this one in the barracks.
So with this one, again, it's almost like they want to know what's going around them today as well, or what's going on in the moment, and who's still around them.
Yeah.
My name is Shauna. Can you stop into the little red light and tell me your name?
That's clear. I mean, you hear who.
But it almost sounds like a child.
I was going to say, it sounds like a child.
Well, we had a lot of paranormal activity here today at the missions in Goliad. It was quite the experience, and we still hold the question as to what the intentions are of these spirits. Are they good or bad? Well, here's a fun fact. You can find out for yourself, and you can actually stay here on the grounds overnight and hold your own investigation. So we want to thank our friends at Corpus Christi Spook Central for joining us today. We'll see you next time on South Texas Haunts.